Good morning and welcome to Smart Impressions. I'm Rachel and I'm here just connecting businesses one connection at a time. So if you have considered being on camera, sharing your value or your voice across any of the social media platforms or even with customers or even on panels, there is no doubt this show will be super valuable for you today. So welcome to the stage and to the show today is no other than one of the most experienced person in this town, specifically in Dubai. She has so much experience in media training, production, and she's really been involved with anyone who's out there presenting themselves on screen and off. Thank you for coming, Reim El Houni, the video content and TV expert. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And this is a topic I'm really passionate about. So I'm very excited to share some of my stories.
Fantastic. Well, I can't tell you enough how important I am just begging people, like, drive your value and do it through video, because this is the best medium out there today. And I'm just shocked when I meet people and they go, no, I haven't even considered it. And I know that no doubt in your world, you probably come across a lot of people that maybe a little shy or having this imposter syndrome and not really sure where to really even start, right?
We come across that all the time, and it's really fascinating because you meet a lot of people who are very experienced, very senior, have huge credibility in their industry or their field. But the minute a camera comes on, just something happens where the self-consciousness kicks in. Sometimes it's a cultural mindset. They've always been told that being in front of the camera maybe isn't culturally appropriate. So they need to kind of overcome all of those mental hurdles and realize that it's much simpler than it looks. But yes, to answer the question, I come across it all the time, and it's fascinating because it's always people you never expect who would still get nervous once that camera's turned on.
So I know you have a great program that you're helping people learn how to do it effectively. And there's this big gap. I feel like there's tons of podcasters out there trying to do it. And then there's the people that should be doing it or not doing it at all, And so what is your course really set up to help them with?
So we have a couple of courses which have been really popular in this space. One of them is called Level Up. And that really is getting people to understand the value in their knowledge. So I want people to really overcome all of the hurdles they may have when they get in front of the camera. Because most people, they start over analyzing and critiquing how they look, how they feel, the self-consciousness kicks in, how they sound. I want them to kind of put all of that aside and realize that people aren't watching you for that. They're watching you to gain value. So as long as you really double down on educating people and embracing the knowledge you have, you gradually gain that confidence. Your confidence comes from embracing your knowledge. So over those 2 days, we really just sit there and structure, what do you want to be known for? What is your key message? How do we structure that in a really simple script? And then how do we give you some tools to get you confident in front of the camera whilst presenting it, and you come out of it with a video. So for many, it's a very transformational weekend where, they start the weekend thinking, oh, I can't do this. And they come out the weekend with a video and seeing themselves. So once they've done it once, I find that, the second one is easier, the third one is easier. So that's Level Up. But what's been super interesting is another workshop we have called On Air. Originally, when I created that workshop, it was meant to tap into all those people who wanted to be presenters, wanted to be interviewers. And obviously now we've got so many people in the podcast space as well. But what I realized is we're attracting a lot of people who just want to improve their podcasting skills, their interviewing skills, their conversational skills on camera. So perhaps On Air is for those who are a little bit more comfortable on camera, but just really want to get to the next level and start performing more in the presenting space and owning their media when they're inviting guests in the same way that you're inviting me now, but just to get the most out of the people they're interviewing. So both of those programs have done really, really well. I'm really proud of them. And one of the reasons we keep offering them is because I've seen the changes they've made in people. And often it's as simple as a weekend. It's as simple as putting yourself out there, and gradually, bit by bit, you'll find that your skills improve.
Well, there's no doubt super valuable if you could walk away with a video produced, professional video where you can share, and then you can use that for so many different ways. And this is all about credibility and trust. And right now, the best way to do that is through a video communication, because you got all the senses that really play into that experience and how people receive that content. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm so happy.
But just a couple of things I wanted to put out there, because people, often think that, oh, this isn't for me. There are other people out there who do this, or if they're kind of come from large organizations, they may have a marketing team that's been doing all of their video content. I don't know if you actually know the stats, Rachel, but you may be surprised to know. Any guesses the percentage of people who are more likely to do business with you after they've watched you on camera? Do you have any guesses?
No idea. What could it be?
It's 63%. So 63% of people, 63% are more likely to do business with you and your company if they've watched a video of you. And awesome. So I work with a lot of people who are like, oh, do I really need to be on camera? I'm like, you don't have to be on camera, but 63% of people are more likely to do business with you because it builds a level of trust and confidence that I don't think any other medium can. If you think about, if you're ever going to go to a doctor or go to an accountant or anyone that requires you to share something on a confidential level, once you've watched videos of them, you kind of feel like you know them a little bit. You're more inclined to work with them. So I find that no matter what the industry is, it can definitely build that trust curve. And it's worth trying.
Absolutely. I think, if it's up to me, I think every salesperson, and I say probably every person on the planet is a salesperson, whether they like it or not, because we're selling ourselves, whether it be to our partners or our children or, our bosses, we're continuously in the state of selling. And, it's not just a job that says you're sales, but if you're a customer interfacing, if you deal with another human, you should be creating video content. And we're seeing that with a lot of tools today, sales support tools, that they're incorporating video content like Loom, for example, a great tool where the conversations are now video and engaging with like demos of technology. And you need to know what to do so you're not making the wrong mistakes, because there's no doubt, I'm sure when you're looking at people's content, it's very clear to see, hey, there's areas of improvement, right?
There are always areas of improvement, but I'm someone who doesn't really over critique, how I look or how I sound, as long as I'm adding value. So I really look at it from a perspective of, if someone's watching your video, have they learned something from you? Are there active takeaways? Because if there are, they will continue to watch your content. And I think that's really the core message I want people to take away, is to stop over analyzing or focusing on the wrong things and just focus on adding value and educating people. Because if you do that, you will continue to grow and you'll continue to attract an audience.
I love that. I feel like as long as you're in that state of joy where you are providing and feeling good about what you're saying and doing, then you can't go wrong. That is your green light in life, and if you can connect with that. But people do work with people they like. That's a honest truth. So if you can, get your voice, the impact of voice, body language, eye contact, and really encourage that kind of connection. I love those. I know I got a great stat that I'm going to refer to quite regularly. So thank you for that. Yeah. I think when I talk to some of the podcasting studios in town, some of their clients or biggest challenges is maybe not the exposure and that they're not getting the traction or engagement. Do you help with that stuff as well?
Honestly, I like to focus on my niche, which is the video creation. And I do believe we support people in creating a content strategy so that they can look at the kind of content that will help them build that traction and that will help them stand out as an expert in their field. I don't tend to get involved in the social media side of things and the promotional side of things, because I think, that's a very different skill set. But the content creation side, I think if you have a strong content strategy and you're really thinking through what does your audience want, how do you create content that's going to be as relevant to them as possible and add value to them? That is a piece of the puzzle that we can definitely support people with.
Awesome. There's, I think, the biggest key, strategy. Do you know your customer? Are you talking to them? Are you giving them what they need? And you're the girl to help you, or help anyone that has that requirement, hasn't figured it out. So I'm so happy you're here. I mentioned it earlier, because I don't see really many other people in this space that can help. And I believe that the video should be a lifeline of every business, because that's how you're going to ensure connectivity and stickiness in this really competitive marketplace where you're just really out there to take business from somebody else. And so how are you going to do it and get top of mind, right?
Absolutely, but I also want to add, that I'm obviously in the video business, so it's something I believe in. It's something we offer for a lot of customers. But the real tipping point for me was when I started to get more visible and create videos myself, because it got to a point where I can't sit there and tell everyone else to do this if I'm not doing it. And so I really feel that I understand all the mental challenges that people have in doing this, because I've had to overcome them. And a big part of me overcoming them was realizing first the stats, which I shared earlier. There are a lot of stats in this area. I mean, the one I shared was about you being on camera, but video in general, 93% of people say they've made a sale using a video, so it works, the medium works. But in order for me to overcome it, I had to do it slowly. And I started, with webinars, and I started on a laptop and started get it, practicing, just, looking straight into the camera. And gradually, exactly what I shared earlier, if I focused on knowledge, I found that, I know my stuff, so that kind of built my confidence, because I'm not talking about something left field. I'm talking about things I talk about every day. And doing it slowly, day by day by day, I overcame that hurdle personally. So because of that, I know that everyone else can as well. And I've been very consistent with it. And the consistency has started to bring results. So I get opportunities from my videos, I get sales from my videos. So I'm a walking case study of how it can work for you. And that's why I feel that anybody can do this if they just put the time in, embrace their knowledge, and be consistent with it.
Well, there's no doubt you got my credibility, and you got my trust. And that's why I wanted to bring you on today to really share it with everyone in my network. I think it's so valuable. It's so helpful. And I encourage anyone to please reach out, engage, ask questions. Reem's here to answer those questions. So if you've been on the fence, or if you're not really sure, or even if you are using video and you just need a second person to overlook it, give you some feedback and get better, right? If you're into learning and improving yourself, then this is a great tool and a supplier, and that could really help you on that journey. So Reem, you won't believe it. It's a quick New York minute here. We're almost coming down to our time, and I don't want our listeners to leave without understanding 3 tips that you can share with them about what they should consider, what they should, think about when they're doing video for their own content and value.
So I think the 3 tips would be, number 1, really understand what do you want to be known for? And once you're clear on your objective, then create content that aligns with that. Always look at adding value in your expertise. What can you educate people in? I'd also say keep it simple. Don't underestimate what people need to learn. So often people want to send these shopping lists, long videos, but actually keep it short, keep it under a minute, give people actionable advice that they can take away, and just start. I think beyond anything else, just start practicing, start doing, selfie videos by yourself, get comfortable with the medium and get it out there. And you'll be surprised how many people are ready to support you and ready to work with you once they feel that you're adding value to their journey.
Incredible. Thank you so much for this. Now, I just want to ask you personally, I know that from LinkedIn perspective, and this is where we're streaming because I love this platform so much on a professional level. You've gone through a journey there of posting content and seeing kind of that transition. What do you notice from your video content versus regular posts, for example? What's really been your journey?
So for me, it took me a whole year, and I want to share that because a lot of people think that, you share content and you'll get results straight away. It doesn't work that way. There's something, a lot of people know I'm very active in the world of BNI, and something I learned from BNI that translates perfectly to this is an acronym called VCP. You need to be visible, 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 and then you need to be credible. You need to be sharing a lot of knowledge and information that positions you in your expertise, and only then do you get to the P, which is profitable. So for me, it took an entire year of just being visible and sharing, information that positioned me in a credible space before I got my first inquiry or my first sale, and usually through a DM. So that's something else I want to share. People are always so paranoid about the engagement levels they have on their posts in public, whereas actually the majority of the activity happens in private. And if you think about it, your own behavior, you're unlikely to go and like and comment on everybody else's posts. But what you are likely to do is if you see something that resonates with you, you may DM that individual. So don't get disheartened when you feel that there isn't much engagement on your posts. Have a different metric. And my metric is how many people have DM'd me this week. because if they've DM'd me, then they're still watching. They're still connecting, and there are questions and inquiries that come out of it. So stop worrying so much about the public profile, and just understand that what actually matters is the bottom line. And if you're getting those inquiries through DM, then that's great. The last thing I want to add is what's been very surprising in my LinkedIn journey is that they're not always new people who reach out. Being on LinkedIn keeps you top of mind, right? So I'm now suddenly top of mind with all these people in my network who I may have met 10 years ago, 15 years ago. In fact, I think, Rachel, I met you over 10 years ago.
15 years ago. I've been here for a long time. Yeah, a long time ago. Crazy.
So it's staying top of mind with those people. And last year, something fascinating happened in the same year. I got a new inquiry from someone I worked with 18 years ago in the UK. Someone I worked with, I think it was 15 years ago when I was still employed, and someone I worked with, I think it was 9 years ago in the early part of my business. And all three of those converted into business. And the only thing that really happened was that they were aware of me and kept seeing me on LinkedIn. And when the need arose, that's when they reached out. So you just never know when that's going to happen. And it's about the consistency with your message, and hopefully you'll attract the right opportunity.
I love that. I love that. So keep it authentic, keep it simple, and just get started. What are you waiting for? So if you have been thinking about it, do it now. I can't encourage you enough. Reim's here to help support. You've got a community of people there that are doing and going through these same challenges and overcoming them together. There's nothing better than doing it together. Human connections is where it's at. Keep it going. Reim, thank you so much for all the value you shared today. I really, really appreciate it. I know my community has, and I'm super gracious for that information and your time. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to have been here and happy to support anyone who wants to message me or comment below.
Awesome. All right. Well, there she is. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I wish you a fabulous Tuesday. Make it a successful day and make it one for sales. Stay top of mind with video, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great day.